We're at a moment where diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, are no longer topics of the few but widely held expectations for people to thrive in all aspects of life. In a world where so many people still feel like outsiders, belonging is the next critical step in the evolution of DEI. Currently, the majority of cultural building programs focus on teams or at organizational levels. They rarely deep dive into the individual identity piece, so each of us can define how we want to be seen, heard, and valued on our own terms. Though well-intentioned, many organizations get these programs wrong. For years, this is what I got wrong. You can't build a culture of belonging for people. You have to build a culture of belonging with people. To do this, individuals need the space to get to know who they are and define how they want to be seen, heard, and valued on their own terms. Without this foundation, people will continue to wear masks in an attempt to fit in. The rollover effect of that impacts our culture at home, at work, and in the world. When we mask ourselves, we hide parts of our identity that we need to thrive. And when that happens, we lack safe spaces for each of us to bring forth our authentic selves. The definition of a safe space is different for everyone, which makes the individual identity work critical in building a culture of belonging. This is because culture is not something people fit into, but rather a sum of each of our individual parts. Like many things that sound obvious, individual identity work is not easy. In a world full of labels, many of us allow our identity to be defined by other people, and the more labels we gather, the more difficult it becomes to untangle the story we tell ourselves about who we are and where we belong. Despite devoting much of my career to creating cultures of belonging and opportunity, this happened to me. I was so caught up in trying to fit in and adapting myself to different cultures that I didn't take the time to truly be a part of those cultures because I wasn't showing up as my authentic self. You Belong Here, through an exploration of identity and culture, dives into the places this shows up in our lives. This book is for those of us who have walked into a room and felt like we didn't belong, like we have to become someone else to feel accepted, and like we have lost ourselves in a world that forces us to hide who we are. It takes us through a journey of personal exploration that allows each of us to see, claim, edit, and own our identity, so that we can stand firmly when we feel like an outsider and our values are pressure tested. This critical inner work brings us back to our core, opening ourselves up to which aspects of our identity to leave and which to love. The learnings and frameworks detailed in this book will help us to root ourselves in our authentic identity and define how we want to be seen, heard, and valued on our own terms. By doing this work, we are rooted in an identity we love, which sets the foundation to create safe spaces at home, at work, and in our community, allowing a culture of belonging to thrive.